So if you clicked on this video, you've obviously been struggling with getting to the gym, but you have goals of losing weight, maybe gaining some muscle, building some strength, but it's felt impossible for you to get to the gym. A lot of work responsibilities, maybe extracurricular responsibilities, and I mean things that you must do outside of work. And then you've also got family responsibilities. And this is just like one of my clients, and I'm actually driving this video from one of my clients. And some things that I told him based off of the conversation that we had and some of the struggles that he's been having. And the client that this video has stemmed from is a husband, he is a father, he is a software engineer, and excuse me, and he is also a student trying to achieve a master's degree. So he is really, really busy. And I don't want to, at any point in time in this video, make out to be that he is not super busy, or that if you experience some of these same things, that you're not super busy. And I don't want to be insensitive to that. And I understand that life does happen, and that getting to the gym can absolutely be put on the back burner because of life responsibilities. And that and I don't even want to make it sound like you aren't prioritizing your family or anything, and that you aren't doing your absolute best. I don't want to make any of that out to be inside this video. So let me preface all of that before I go any further. Excuse me. I've been sick since we got back, went on my honeymoon last week. We got home last week from our honeymoon, and I've been sick ever since, so still kind of getting over that. But anyway, so back to my client. Husband, father, software engineer, and he's in his master's right now. So super busy guy. And so on his check-in last week, he had wrote that it's been hard for him to find time to get to the gym. And one of my questions that I have is, did you get all your workouts in this week? And he had basically said that it was very hard for him to find time to get to the gym this last week. And ultimately, the thing that came out of that check-in that I had sent back to him was, you don't find time, you prioritize your time. And especially in these phases of life that you are so freaking busy that it's almost hard to breathe, it's hard for you to think about anything else. That's when planning and prioritization of your schedule is the absolute end all be all. Like, you live and die by that. And I really want to emphasize that with my pastor, actually. I saw him for my Bible study this morning, and he just had his fifth child, okay? His fifth child, and he's like 36 years old, okay? Buddy is super busy, just planted a church, and he just had his fifth child, and he's insanely busy. And week in, week out, every single Tuesday before we meet for our Bible study, he is at the gym, he's done his running for the day, and he does running with a group of guys from our church as well. And without fail, like, he is a daily gym goer still. And I tell that story of him because I really, I envy that. I hope that me and my wife can have, we want 4 kids, okay? We want 4 kids one day. But I hope that, my camera's all jacked up there. I just kicked the ring camera here. Sorry about that. And he is on his 5th child. And I just hope that, God willing, that if we have 4 kids, that I prioritize and I'm able to make it happen the way this guy does. Because that is awesome. I have no idea what that looks like. I don't even know what it looks like to have kids, okay? And on top of trying to provide for the family and making sure that these things are taken care of, your own health is taken care of. So I don't speak inside this video from that experience, but I do speak inside this video from experience of having clients that are going through that, and also my own experience of time priority in management in order to get to the goals that I want to get to, or that you want to get to. So again, let's go back to this idea of, like, you got to live and die by planning in your calendar, like down to scheduling very small things inside your day. Like it could be as small as going for a 10-minute walk after your lunch break, or scheduling in reading time that you want to do because it's one of your goals this year, that you want to read more instead of scrolling on top of but you don't know how you're going to find that reading time. And like, schedule those things out. And I want you to schedule these things out just the way you would your work, because your work is how you provide for your family, right? But ultimately, if you can't take care of your own health, then you're not able to show up for your family the best way possible. You're not able to be the dad, the husband, or even if you're not, maybe you clicked on this video and you're not even married yet, or you don't have kids either. Like, I don't have kids, but you want to get married one day, and you might have a girlfriend. You guys are getting serious and you want to have kids one day, but, and you've got a little more leeway with your time, but you still are having a hard time. Like, you aren't be able to show up the best man inside your relationship, inside with your wife and your kids, and even what you do with your work, if you're not able to prioritize and take care of your health. Okay. So, but just the way you schedule in your work, and maybe your time, your extracurricular time with your family, and family dinners or work dinners, or whatever it is that you do, Bible studies, just the way you would prioritize those things and plug them in, you have to prioritize these moments that are going to get you to the goals that you want to get to. And honestly, another thing that I'll kind of side tangent on is, how deep are your actual goals? Like, are they, I just want to lose fat because I hate the way I look, or I just want to be more confident? Like, those things are never, if your goal is just rooted in that, like purely, honestly, vanity or just self-giving, and I'm not saying those are really bad, because I think that there's importance in some of those things for pleasure and being confident, and I don't think pleasure is necessarily a bad thing at all. But your goals when it comes to your health and your fitness and everything, they need to be rooted in something deeper than just, oh, I want to look better and I want to be more confident. They need to be rooted in real love for God, or real love for your family, real love, and something even deeper. Like, for me, so whenever I have moments of hard times throughout financially for work, I actually have this thing right next to me, 2 big flashcards that have, I've got do it for your family and their children, and then a little snippet, little inside scoop on our wedding ceremony is the song. I think it's called The Blessings. She says, may his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. And I've got some other things, some other Bible verses written up here. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. So I have those things up next to me to remind me of what I'm doing this for. Service, love for not only my children, but my children's children. Like, what kind of legacy can I leave for them? Because not from a legacy of significance, which I'm a human, I'm sure there's some of that in there, but also legacy of, and I thought about this the other day, legacy from the standpoint of when my children's children look at me, and maybe I'm already dead and gone, but my kids look at my grandkids, or my grandkids look at my kids, and they're like, man, it seems like there's something different about Grandpa. What was he about? What was he about? I want my kids to be like, man, he tried everything in his power to just serve God, and he was very obedient, and through his obedience, Not that he was expecting any type of financial gain or trying to, or through his obedience, expecting wealth or anything like that, but the wealth, the things that he brought to the life that you now see was because of his obedience of God. And yeah, and those are kind of the legacy things that I start to think about. And that's not necessarily pertaining to fat loss, but it can carry over, right? I want my grandchildren and my kids to also see, I want to be the fittest dad. I want to be the fittest grandpa. Like, I want my grandkids to be like, what is wrong with him? And honestly, be probably a little bit like, not embarrassed. I don't want them to be embarrassed, but a little like, dude, a little scared to bring their friends around me because they're like, dude, my grandpa is insane. Like, he's probably going to make us work out or something. Like, those things, I don't know, those things that I just think about. That, yes, honestly, there's probably some vanity in there. I'm not going to lie, I'm a human. But also a deeper why out of love, really deep love in for my family and for the generations to come. So, little side tangent there. Let's get back on schedule here. So, live and die by planning in the calendar, scheduling in small things. I talked about that. Planning. Something that my client actually got back to me and said was that him and his wife are now sitting down every Saturday or Sunday, and scheduling out the meals for the next week. And they're also scheduling out how they're looking at their schedules individually and how they can take care of their daughter separately, because there's some other issues there that they need to take care of in their own relationship. And then also how they're going to both get their gym time in and everything. So I was like, yes, that's awesome. Like, you don't get the things done that you want to get done. You don't reach your goals without planning and preparation. Like, that's just number one. And it's not sexy, and it's not even easy sometimes. When I understand, like, from this client, like, he's expressed so many times where he feels like he's doing his absolute best, and I have no doubt about that. But ultimately, if you have goals that are ultimately rooted in love, because you know that you're not able to show up the husband and the father and everything else that you've got in your life because your health is in a bad place, your fitness is in a bad place, then you're now able to muster up energy that you didn't even know that you had, right? And I hope that makes sense. So, a couple last points here, and then I'm going to wrap this up, is if we don't take control of our time, then life is going to just throw you around like a rag doll. And I have done this plenty of times, where I will even do this sometimes where I have an idea of what I want to do throughout the day. I've got my day written out, and then I might take a little detour to add a little bit of variety in there. And then all of a sudden, because of that detour, I've gotten some things done, but all of a sudden I'm now doom scrolling or something because I didn't stick to my plan. And that's the other thing. So, like, taking control of your time and planning and preparing and then executing so that life doesn't throw you around like a rag doll. Because we can't expect to get in shape. We can't expect to lose fat. We can't expect to get the results that we want to get with just hoping. It will never happen. Just as my client said, I can't find the time. I hope to find the time. He said this a couple times. We've really been working on his vocabulary and the way that he kind of speaks to himself too, and not hoping, but it's like, I'm gonna make this happen. Like, so again, you cannot expect to get to the results that you want to get to by hoping. You have to forge that time in. Like, we live in a crazy, busy time period. And with that planning and preparation, you need a fitness system that is chaos proof, that is built into your life to where, yes, it's going to take effort. Yes, it's going to be hard, but feels more seamless than dauntingly looking at, oh, I gotta get to the gym 6 days this week. Like, it doesn't need to look like 6 days. It doesn't need to look like even 4 or 5 days. Like, you can start with 2 or 3, and that's gonna be just fine for even the season that you're in, or even long term. I'd argue you can get fantastic results by just getting to the gym 2 times a week for 30 minutes. 110%. I think you can get great results by doing that. You have to be very efficient. You have to have a very smart plan, but you can absolutely do it with the right nutrition protocols and other stress management and other things in line. But with this whole planning and preparation, everything, you've got to have a chaos-proof system that is built around your lifestyle also inside the mix here. So, and then my last point, and we're wrapping it up here, is you need to prioritize your health as a man because it's what your family needs. And I kind of touched on this, so I won't really rehash this much, but it's what your family not only needs, but they deserve. They're not going to get their best dad and their best husband without you showing up and taking care of your own health and wellness and fitness. And that's the only thing I will say on that. So if this really resonated with you and you've been going to the gym or you've been trying to get to the gym and you've got these weight loss goals, you want to lose 15 plus pounds sustainably, maybe you've yo-yoed back and forth in the past and you've tried a lot of different diets and weights never actually stayed off. You really want to lose at least 15 pounds, maybe even more, but it's just been so hard for you to find the time to get these things done. I would love to connect with you. You can shoot me a message on Instagram and we can chat there. Or I'll also drop my calendar link down below. We can schedule a call. We can chat it up there and kind of see how we might be able to best help you there. But either way, kind of main takeaways here are you got to live and die by the calendar and your planning. And with that planning, having a chaos-proof system built in that is going to, yes, take effort. Yes, it's going to be hard because of the season you're in, but is almost seamless to just kind of walk right in and say, this is what I've got to do, and this is what I'm going to make happen. And then doing all of that for a deeper why, a deeper love, not just purely vanity. And not to say that the vanity metrics are necessarily bad, because they're all fun. We want to look better. It does help our confidence. Like I'm not gonna deny that and say that you're wrong for that. We're human, right? But it does need to be planted in something a lot deeper, love and maybe legacy or whatever. It doesn't have to look like mine and the kind of story that I told with me, but find that deeper thing. And with that, you will absolutely find a lot more power and a lot more energy, motivation, clarity, focus, all these things that you didn't even know that you had by really anchoring there. So like the video, subscribe for more, drop any comments that you have below. Excuse me. Anything you want to see more of or any questions from here, whatever. And we'll see you guys in the next video.